Hi, I'm Nan Simonson with Aging Powerfully with Nan. Happy New Year! I'm so excited that we're starting another year, 2021. Thank you. It's got to be better, and it's gonna be. Well, today I'm gonna make a triple apple cake, but with a twist. I'll tell you about that in just a bit. If you haven't found Chef AJ yet, look for her, Chef AJ Lives, Chef AJ on YouTube. She's a vegan cook, doesn't use oil, salt, or sugar, and her recipes are great. She's a professionally trained chef, and she's been vegan for over 40 years. She has some terrific recipes, content free. So, meaning her content is free. So we're going to use one of her recipes, and it's Chef AJ's triple apple cake. What's the twist? I can't throw anything away. For Christmas, a very kind person gave me a beautiful box of Harry and David pears. Well, how many pears can you eat? A dozen and a half? So I had 3 pears left. The recipe calls for 3 apples. Guess what we're getting in the apple cake? You won't know what it tastes like. I will, but I'll let you know because I'll splice on a little bit to the back of this and let you know. So what we're going to do is start with oats. I use gluten-free because everything I eat has to be gluten-free, and I use organic because oats are heavily sprayed with glyphosate, and I have 2 cups. And I'm going to attach the recipes so you'll have that with this video. I'm adding the dry ingredients. The recipe says add the first 6 dry ingredients, but one of them was powdered vanilla. We're not using powdered vanilla, and so instead I'll be adding that to the liquid ingredients rather than the dry ingredients. And then we have 6 tablespoons of ground flax. I wanted to show you, I buy my flaxseed bulk. This one's from the La Sierra Whole Foods Market. I live in Riverside, California, and that's a great place to buy terrific bulk foods. You can get it from Clark's Nutrition. You can get it from Sprouts. You can buy it at Trader Joe's. I get organic. That's what I like to stay with. And I just ground it so it's ground fresh. And I just put it in the Vitamix and ground it. And then anything ground goes into the freezer because it oxidizes rather quickly. And the reason that we use flax in a lot of things is that we get that omega-3 fat that we want. And I have a tablespoon of, it says in the recipe, apple pie spices. Well, I happen to have pumpkin pie spice, and I got this from Trader Joe's and I like it, so I use the pumpkin pie spice. It just means there's some mace and maybe some nutmeg that the apple might not have. And if you don't have a spice mix, there is a remedy for that on the recipe as well. You just use some other ingredients like just straight cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg. Okay, and then I have to add to that baking powder and baking soda. And I promised myself in the last video I wouldn't do that. Every time I turned around, I dropped things in the sink, and all through the video, I was yelling at it after I was doing the replay, stop it, Nan, because everything made that clunk, so I'm trying. So I like using a whisk to whisk it all up, and I can smell the fragrance of the pumpkin pie spice. Now we're going to add the moisture. And if you've looked at this recipe so far, it's nothing but whole food. That's what we eat, whole food, plant-based, because I stay with the lifestyle as medicine dictates of, I'm just going to say, understanding that the best things for our body are natural foods and in the plant kingdom. And I and my husband both eat no animal products. We are whole food, plant-based. We're vegan, but gosh, I've got leather on my shoes, so I can't say I'm vegan in that way. So I'll stick with whole food, plant-based. I'm adding to it applesauce, 1.5 cups of applesauce. And you can get organic applesauce. What is, according to the World Health Organization, I was going to say, is it World Health Organization or is it, yeah, it is. One of the most sprayed of the fruit is apples and pears, quite frankly. So I try to find organic. These are my cut up pears, 3 cups. And I'm gonna mix it all up. Do you see any sugar in here? Oh, and the vanilla. A teaspoon of vanilla, placing silently behind me. I use Trader Joe's vanilla. I like their pure bourbon being an island, vanilla extract. And this is organic Honeycrisp applesauce. Trader Joe's has a good applesauce, well priced. And I want to show you this. My husband, he's so smart, he's holding the camera right now, said, why don't you take all of your spoons off their circles, because they come in a clasp. And I said, I can't do that. I won't be able to find them in my drawer. Well, look at this. A little glass with the spoon standing up. You can find them easily, but I'm showing it to you because I want to show you this kind of a measuring spoon. You would think, why bother with a narrow one? You've got a perfectly good wide one. Well, I want to measure my pumpkin pie spice. How do I do that? I dump it in, and then what do I do with the stuff that's excess? Instead, I can put this into a bottle, and I could either shake it off, or while it's coming up, which is what I did with this one, I just put another one and I scraped it off there. So, love these measuring spoons. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add a little extra, because I like the spiciness. Okay, that's it. We have no sugar, no dairy, no fat. I'm mixing it up, and the recipe also calls you, if you remember, I said triple apple. We've seen pear instead of apple, but that was 1. Applesauce, 2. What's the other one? Well, dried apple rings. These are relatively inexpensive from Trader Joe's. I think they were $3 and something. New Zealand sweet apple rings. And they're just dried apple. There's no sugar on them. The recipe calls for fine snipped. I tried it with a knife. The knife sticks to every ring. And so I love kitchen shears. This happens to be Cutco. They're the best shears I've ever used. I lost a pair and I bought them again for the ridiculous price. They were like $80. But I've never seen any as good. And when I bought these, the woman showed me how she could cut a penny in half. And I thought, oh, I'm sold. Not that I cut pennies in half, but I use them all the time. I mean, daily, all day almost. When I'm opening a bag, when I'm cutting apple rings, which I do every day. Just kidding. Oh gosh, when I'm snipping the ends off of green beans. I have a bunch of green beans. I want the ends off instead of putting down, cutting with the shears. So you'll find if you have kitchen shears, you don't have to have $80 ones. Just get a nice solid pair. And we're done. This is a wonderful cake. It's sweet. Now I had somebody, this is interesting. Okay, you're gonna find that if you eat the standard American diet, which includes processed foods, you are gonna have a harder time appreciating whole food, plant-based magnificence, because you're used to that I'll call it indulgence of extra sugar, extra salt, and extra oil in everything you eat, because everything processed is made that way. They hook you that way. As a matter of fact, food processors, food manufacturers, even use MRIs to see what foods light up the brain in order to make you want more, and that's what they put into their processed foods. So instead, and why am I even going into this, when I made this in one of my classes, somebody said, oh, it didn't have any flavor. Now, it's hard not to have flavor when you've got this much seasoning in it. And I thought, gosh, what's the problem? Well, for one thing, it could have been used again, because one of the things that I do with it is that I take a square of it, I have my oatmeal, and then I add almond milk soy milk to it, and then I add a chunk of this and I put it in the microwave. It's like a pudding type thing. And yet what am I adding? Just apple and oats. So what I want to say about this is that if you're used to highly processed food, for example, if you like apple fritters, I can almost guarantee an apple's not going to turn you on. If you like, I don't know, zucchini fries, steamed zucchini is going to bore you to pieces, and yet I covet steamed zucchini with a little bit of seasoning on it, herb seasoning and some pepper. Yummy. It's what you get used to. So you might consider giving yourself a chance. Oh no. Oh. I'm not going to start this video again. So watch this. Da 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 da. My snipped apples. And although the recipe didn't call for nuts, I put nuts in everything. This is 1/3 of a cup of chopped, and now I'm going to pull out the big guns, of chopped walnut. Okay, that took a second. And whether you were watching or not, I would have done it. So you might as well experience the crazy way things happen in kitchens. And see, if I didn't leave it, if I didn't put it in there, I think the cake would have gotten too moist, because these apples will soak up some of this moisture, the moisture of the applesauce, and give me a better consistency. And of course the nuts I like because I just like the crunch. Okay. And do you know what the flax did? The flax acts like an egg. As a matter of fact, if you want an egg substitute, 1 tablespoon of ground flax and 3 tablespoons of water. You mix it, let it get viscous. Isn't that a great word? And you've got an egg substitute. That'll work in most cases, in most recipes. So the flax seed is going to make this have body. The apple slices are going to absorb some of the moisture. The oats are going to fluff up. This is a 9 by 9 cake pan. This is going to take 25 to 30 minutes. Depends on your oven. And I always do this because I just love to brag. Watch. Hold on. Oops. All right. Take a look at my oven. Look how shiny it is. Why? Because I don't have bacon fat and chicken fat and pork fat burning all over my oven. It stays that way. Okay, goodbye cake. 350, 25 minutes, I'll test it. And there is your triple apple cake, which is really a double apple and single pear. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.